ready to start our Heritage Studies lesson, and this is actually where we left off yesterday. We're going to be on pages 262 and 263. The very first lesson of every chapter, I like to break it up into two lessons because it's usually very long. There's a lot of really important stuff in these first things. So we're going to be on pages today, 262 to 263. Now, I kind of want to go over a little tiny bit with you. I just wanted you to remember who the people were and what countries they were related with. So Joseph Stalin was the dictator of the USSR. Now that's who we know as Russia, but in those days it was USSR. Benito Mussolini was the prime minister of Italy, or the leader. And then Adolf Hitler and his Nazis were the dictators, leaders, whatever you want to call them, of Germany. And remember, Hitler was trying to take over a lot of little countries and places of countries in Europe. And there was a lot of places there, though, that he couldn't take over. But remember, we talked about Winston Churchill. And remember, we said that he was the leader in Great Britain, and Great Britain felt like they were pretty good, but he didn't think that they would be able to withstand Hitler or Stalin. So they were kind of iffy. All right, so let's look now at these other countries. Let's look at where it says Asia, the top of page 262. Many Asian countries were part of European empires. However, the two major free countries had some of the same political issues that the European nations had. Okay, so we got these two guys right in the middle. I don't know how to pronounce their names. I'm just going to give it a whirl. The first one, he's from China, Chiang Kai-shek, and the other one is Mao Zedong. I have no idea. Okay, so let's read about China. Now, Asia is the continent. Okay, China and Japan are two countries on the continent. It's kind of like an entire house, and you have a bedroom and a kitchen. Okay, so the entire house would be Asia, and the kitchen and the bedroom then would be China and Japan, the two countries. Okay, so let's look at China, the bottom of 262. Let's see what was going on over there about this time in the 40s. China suffered from financial loss, division, and war. Two men claimed to be the leader of the country. Chiang Kai-shek supported Western ideas. His wife had even attended high school and college in the United States. The other man, Mao Zedong, wanted China to become communist like Russia. When Japan attacked China in 1937, the Chinese stopped fighting each other. Chiang Kai-shek, I think I say it different every time, led the non-communist Chinese fighters to defend their country. Now look at the top of 263. You've got two Japanese leaders. We've got Hirohito, who he's going to be important in this, and you've got Tojo Hideki. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it, but it looks good to me. All right, so let's read about Japan. Japan had two leaders. Most Japanese people thought that Emperor Hirohito was a living god. General and Prime Minister Tojo Hideki ran the country. He made most of the country's decisions, but he respected the emperor's wishes. Tojo led Japan to build a huge military. They attacked and conquered parts of China. Japan hoped to control most of East Asia as an empire. So during the late 30s and the early 40s, Japan was one to be reckoned with. They were a very, very powerful nation. Let's read a little tiny bit at the bottom there about the United States. Back in the United States, most people just wanted peace. President Franklin D. Roosevelt warned that war might come. Americans hoped that China could stay free from communist rule. Few Americans thought that they needed to fight to protect the other nations. So we've got lots of little things going on here with the different countries. Most people thought that this Japanese guy, Emperor Hirohito, was what? They thought he was a living god. I don't know why, but I guess they just treated him like he was a god, maybe, I guess. I don't know. But Tojo Hideki. Here it tells me how to pronounce it right here. I didn't see it a while ago. So this guy, it is Tojo Hideki. Tojo Hideki. So Tojo Hideki was general and prime minister in Japan, and he pretty much made the decisions and pretty much did everything in Japan. But he also respected the wishes of Hirohito. Okay, so here we have these guys in China and Japan, and the United States is over here going, I don't know, just whatever. All right, let's get our work text page out. Work text page 118. Now I'm going to help you fill this in just a little bit. Now I'm not sure, I don't think I can write, whoops, I can't write on this. And so, I wonder if I could right here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to let me. I wish it would let me write. Let's see, open the speaker notes. Ta-da! I don't know about that. I don't think we need that. Let's see, text position. Okay, I don't even know what this means, but whatever. Oh, keep changing the thing. Okay, so let's look at page 18, at work text page 118. You should be there. Now, this that you see is actually at the top of page 118 in your book. Now, the thing is, I filled in some of these. I didn't fill this in, but I should have. Now, this is going to take us a little while. So, I'm wondering how I'm going to do this. I was thinking that I could write on this, but it's not going to let me. Yeah, well. It'll let me point. Yeah, but that's not going to work, is it? Okay. Q&A. All right. Well, this isn't going to help us any. Okay, well, let's just look right here. All right, so the first guy, now this lists the name, their title, their country, and their party, okay? So on this one, which one of those, now these were the three that we talked about yesterday, okay? So these are going to be the three that are on pages 260 and 261. So this one was a dictator. Who was that? Which one was that? Remember? It was Stalin. So you'll write Stalin right here. I know you're going to need me to help you spell that. Let me see if I can bring up my whiteboard and see if I can help you do that. I don't know if it's going to let me do like a half page or what. Oh, no, I don't think we want to do that. All right, so I will spell that. Now you can look it up in your book too. Okay, so Stalin is that. His whole name is Joseph Stalin, but you can just write that. Okay, so Stalin goes here. He was a dictator of which country? Remember? USSR. All capital letters, USSR. That's who we know as Russia. Okay. Now, what was, you may or may not remember, what was his party? Now, you know, like today in America, we have Republicans and Democrats. What was the name of his party? Do you remember? It was the Communist Party. So this word, communist, is going to go right there on your chart. Communist. Okay. Now, if I don't give you enough time, you just pause it while you finish that, okay? All right, let's go to the next line. Now, this one is it belongs to the country of Italy. So, do you remember the name of the person that was over Italy? His name was kind of hard, kind of weird. It is Benito Mussolini. Mussolini. Benito is his first name. Mussolini. Now that name goes right here. Mussolini. Okay. So what was his title. So Mussolini was the something of Italy. Do you remember what it was that he was? He was the prime minister of Italy, right here. Mussolini, prime minister. Here's how you spell that. There's a fly bothering me today. All right, and his country was Italy. Do you happen to remember his party's name? Who they were? Tell me that. Okay, his party's name was the Fascist Party. So that goes right here. He was the fascist. Okay. This up here. All right, let's do the last line. Now, I gave you the name. His name is Hitler, so you'll have to put his name in there. Okay, then we got to fill out his title, his country, and his party. Do you remember any of those? Make sure you write his name there. His title was dictator. He was the dictator. Same thing as Joseph Stalin. He was the dictator. Do you remember his country? His country was Germany. Hitler was associated with Germany. He was the dictator of Germany. Here's how you spell it. Now, the hard part, do you happen to remember his party? What his party was called? They were the Nazi Party. That goes in the last blank there. All right, good deal. Let us look then at, let's look then at number 1 on the true and false. You got 5 true and false. Now it says to write true if it's true, and if it's false, we have to write the correction for the underlined word. So number 1, the politician in Great Britain who said that Hitler must be stopped was Winston Churchill. True or not? That's true. The politician in Great Britain that said Hitler must be stopped was Winston Churchill. So put true right there in that blank. Okay, number 2, if I go too fast, just pause it until you're ready. Number 2, Hitler hated and wanted to destroy German people. That's not true. So that means we need to fix the word German. What should it be? What people did Hitler hate? Do you remember? The Jews, the Jewish people. J-E-W-I-S-H, Jewish. Number 3, even though Hitler and Mussolini were friends, Hitler was worse than Mussolini. True. That's true. Adolf Hitler was a bad dude. Number 4, citizens are able to vote for the country's leaders in a dictatorship. No, not a dictatorship, but in a democracy. Number 4 is democracy. D-E-M-O-C-R-A-C-Y. Democracy. Number 5, Great Britain was preparing to fight Hitler. True. That's true. They were getting ready to fight Hitler. Okay. Let's do 6 through 10 now. It says, write C if the statement applies to, let's see how I pronounce it. It's Chiang Kai-shek. Okay, so C if it applies to Chiang Kai-shek. M if it applies to Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong. I'll never remember that. So leader of non-communist Chinese fighters. Because remember, there were two leaders in China, and they were very different. They were kind of fighting to get what they wanted. It was the Chiang Kai-shek man who was kind of the good guy. He kind of wanted things to be good. He wanted to be kind of like America. Mao Zedong was the bad guy. He wanted him to be like the USSR and Joseph Stalin. So the leader of the non-communist Chinese fighters was C. It was Chiang Kai-shek. He was kind of the good guy, non-communist. Communist would be like a dictator. Okay, number 7, leader who wanted China to become communist was the other guy, the M guy, Mao Zedong. He wanted China to become communist like the USSR. Number 8, had a wife who attended school in the United States. Which one was it, C or M? It was C. Okay, number 9, man who claimed to be the leader of China. Both of them did. So you'll put C and M on number 9. And number 10, the leader who supported Western ideas, that would be C. Okay. On the very last part, it says to write the names of Japan's 2 leaders and then circle the name of the man who actually ran the country. So you're going to do this part by yourself. Now the men are at the very top of page 263 in your book. So you need to copy their names down here. And then you're going to circle, was it Hirohito or was it Tojo Hideki that led the country? It was Tojo Hideki. That's right. So you'll circle his name. So write both their names and circle his name. Okay? This is a very good page to help with studying when you get ready to take your test here in a week or two. So anyway, so that's all you have to finish. You don't have any other assignment. So that'll be all for today.